I have been an executive assistant for over 25 years, but I have also done other things in between. In between my roles as an executive assistant, I bought a cafe in America in 2016. I was responsible not only for the business, but also for 8 employees. I sold my business in 2018 and came back home to Australia. Having had a taste of not working for anyone but myself, I decided to go it alone and become a virtual assistant. I wanted the freedom to work the hours I wanted. Boy, was I wrong about that, but I will elaborate a little later. With my executive assistant and my marketing experience, I wanted to offer my services as a virtual assistant. I went to work trying to get clients by going to networking events, sending messages through LinkedIn. The funny thing is, I now get a lot of messages in my LinkedIn inbox, and I consider those messages spam. I targeted real estate agents and solar power companies because I knew that industry. The clients I got were mainly American companies, and one was an American company branching out in Australia. Now, before I go on about why I didn't enjoy being a virtual assistant, I want to add a disclaimer. Some virtual assistants love what they do and don't mind going out there looking for leads. And if that's you, then more power to you. This video is about my experience and to give you food for thought before venturing out to become a virtual assistant yourself. But before we get started with the list, please consider hitting the subscribe and like button to get more content like this. Okay, now let's get started on the things that made me realize that being a virtual assistant wasn't for me. Number 1, I was always hustling to get clients. This is so not me. Number 2, always chasing up clients to pay their invoices. Number 3, when it came to invoicing time, a few clients wanted to negotiate the cost of the invoice. It was frustrating. I never cheated anyone. In fact, I sometimes went beyond expectation and didn't charge them for it. Number 4, I was competing against virtual assistants from other countries that could charge way less than what I could charge. Number 5, potential clients wanted to haggle my hourly rate to make me come down to their budget, but I never negotiated my rate. I believed whatever their budget wasn't a concern of mine. I wasn't going to budge from my rates, which were very reasonable for my experience. I know some virtual assistants use overseas virtual assistants to do their work and charge an extra margin on top of their cost. And I could have done that. However, I found when I used these cheaper virtual assistants, their workmanship wasn't great and I wasn't happy to put my name on the project they completed. I had to go in and fix it up before I sent it to my clients. And to be honest, after managing staff in my restaurant business, I was over managing people. Number 6, by the time I paid taxes and for the hours I put into my work, I really didn't find it financially beneficial. And I found I was working more hours for less than what I would have got working for someone else. In Australia, an employer has to pay 10.5% of an employee's base salary into a retirement fund of their choice. When I was working for myself, to put money into a retirement fund, I would have had to charge my clients more. Number 7, when I was a virtual assistant, it was before they had Zoom and team calls. It was hard to have the face-to-face meeting, and different time zones were hard to manage. Without that visual feedback where I could share my screen, completing projects were harder than they should have been. Number 8, I didn't like waiting for a response from a client before I could continue a project, especially when there was a due date. This was quite stressful, not because I can't deal with stressful situations, but because I had no control over when they came back to me, and sometimes it was days. Number 9, the myth that I had the freedom to work my own hours is a scam. I found that I was working more hours to get things out and please my clients than I would have been if I was working for a company. Number 10, finding clients was really hard. I would send out an email or message introducing myself and my services only to be met with silence. Number 11, when finding clients, some only had one-off requests and other clients wanted me on sporadic days. I might be needed a few days a week sometimes, and then I wouldn't hear from them for weeks. After 8 months of doing this, I decided I was done and started going through interviews and wound down my company. I got a job working for someone else. When I started working for someone else, I knew how much I was getting and there was no fluctuations in my pay. I liked the fact that they were contributing to my retirement fund and my hours were set. I know some of you might say that 8 months is too soon to give up, but I haven't looked back since. Knowing what I am getting, I can budget, I can invest and plan for my future. I also get paid for my annual leave and don't have to worry about not getting paid whilst I go away. I'm not saying there are no benefits to working as a virtual assistant, especially if you're a single mum or on maternity leave looking for some extra cash. But I don't have young kids. They are all grown up and I would rather someone else worry about the bookkeeping, the clients and everything else that comes along with owning a business. I do have side hustles, but I don't rely on anyone for them, just myself. I hope you found this video informative. Please subscribe and like, and thanks for watching.